Univox supplemental. This, I traced a few things here. First of all is, had to add a couple capacitors here to make it so that it'll octave shift right. Now as you can hear, when we move the octave shift button, it actually is in tune. All they did was they just paralleled a trimmer capacitor. You see one side of this comes from the common of all these. So the other side of each one's 120 right now if I've got it on that switch, yeah. So I won't touch it, but one goes over to the other side of the mid cap, one goes over the other side of the high cap, and the low cap is just what it is. So you adjust the others to fit that, and then you tune it in from that. And of course all the tuning again is done down here by this resistor ladder, which is off some, and whoever gets it's going to have to mess with that because I've just spent so much time on this thing, it's ridiculous. But the vibrato was giving us issues too, and we replaced a cap in there that seemed to get that back going. And adjust the speed okay, and just 3 speed settings. And we discovered some other things. And now all these are indeed filters and footages. Let's see, let me just jam a note down here. Keith Emerson style, almost. Well, screwdriver instead of knife. Now first of all, that's your vibrato reducer. This is a envelope, attack envelope. That one kind of mutes it or something. Muting filter. So there you go. Whoops. So anyway, a lot of tonal possibilities. Now that D, for whatever reason, is not a decay, it's an attack. Hear the yeah kind of voice. It's got kind of a meow 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 meow, as opposed to a steady attack. Doesn't seem to make much difference. I think it does slow down the portamento a little bit. That's a little bit of a slow attack there. And it just had some bad capacitors here that looked good on the surface with the ESR meter, but they were not. So anyway, yeah, that's I guess about all we're going to do on that. So everything seems to be working. The mysteries are resolved as to what does what. These are all just tone filter and footage things, except for that delay. Maybe it's a delay. Maybe that's what that is. And A is attenuate vibrato, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, and E is the Emily filter. F is the Frankie filter. H. I also meant to, before my batteries ran out, well, let's see, this is the capacitor I pulled out. I like the labeling on this thing. It's, how can I make it focus though? TCC Metal Mite says Visconal-X in quotes. 0.1 microfarad DC working 200 volt at 70 degrees C, 100 volt at 100 degrees C. Type CP36H. Anyway, yeah, they used a interesting looking capacitor there. But here we have the tube that does your oscillations, and this is a 6AL5 diode tube. This is a 12, they're all 12 AU7 except for the middle one and the 6AL5 diode, dual diode. That one has some wave shaper or something. It has to do with the harmonic content. I see with certain tabs on you can hear a difference, others you can't. And then that's your vibrato, the 12AX7, and this is a divider, and that probably does some dividing too, and is the driver for the output maybe. I am not positive what the ID on that one is. Stuff coming from its area though goes out of here, I think. And it does kill it when you pull it, so anyway, so hopefully that's a hint for somebody working on it along the way. And then I also wanted to note that we have a dual contact under there. You can see them. There's one pair of wires hits a plate coming down first, and then there's a little jog in the plate, and the third wire hits that when you press it down. So listen carefully. Now, right now, you hear no difference, but if I hit the D button, now listen. Hear that? See, I can, it's, when you hit the D button, it creates a tack envelope between those 2 points, and so you, as you hit the one, it charges it up, and then as you let off, if you don't completely release it, it discharges. So if you completely release, it just goes slamming to zero. But you can actually, I guess you could adjust those contacts so they have some spacing, and you could make it so you could play it where you have an envelope as you play. A release envelope, kind of functionally too. So, and I'm sure you could easily retro it to have a release envelope in there, pretty much. But there's a hint for somebody who wants to mess with it. And so that is about it. I think I'm going to close it up here. Alrighty, so here we are. Here's the hard attack, you know. Here's the soft attack. Hear it really well on some of them. Some are more subtle. But you hear that yeah kind of attack instead of, it's kind of difficult to hear on the really subtle ones. You hear that real poppy attack when you have that down. And then vibrato reduction, and let's see. So everything does something. Whether it does what it's precisely supposed to, I don't know, but we got most of the caps back in spec there. And so, anyway, the Jennings Univox concluded.